The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with Underdog Fantasy over there. Promo code SGPN over there at UnderdogFantasy.com to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 cash back in rewards each month when you sign up with Edge Boost.bet. Promo code SGPN. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service.
How about if you sweep it out?
What's the point? I can't do anything right.
You'll do fine.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But because I had the Celtics -5, but it feels like it still feels yucky, Scott. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't feel good at all. It really, I rather would have Memphis won. I lost the bet, and I can come up here the next day and say, see, this is what I was told. It didn't feel good, Scott. I will admit that. It did not feel good at all. Yes, the money hit the account. Yes. I understand. It just felt so yucky. But ultimately, Memphis sold. At the end of the day, Memphis sold. But I won. All right. Celtics -5 hits. Luka, he had 17 early. At 17 and a half. It felt like he was going to start doing something, and then he proceeded to do absolutely nothing. So, Scott Studio Reichel with me. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, I had a decent day. I ended up losing the lock with the Mavericks, but I did win. I had the Celtics as well, but I threw in Tatum, 7.5 rebounds.
Yep.
I think he ended up having like 14. He flew over that in the first half, but Boston got off to a bad start, then dominated. Memphis plays again tonight, but they've not been good. So point is, we'll see how they look again against Golden State. But Boston, once they woke up, the game was basically over at that point, and then Boston coasted for a double-digit win. So easy dog win. I'd say a sweat-free lock loss, to be honest. I thought Dallas really never covered over the course of the game. And props to the Nets for actually winning. It's a bad loss for Dallas, but either way, point is Boston did their part for both of us. So can't complain for me.
It's so disgusting. Gosh. But we were spot on. Might have to fade him again today, too. Not gonna lie. All right. Saw a couple of things in the chat. Let's just go ahead, talk about it. So, for the people that have been asking, for the people that have noticed, Moonoff has not been on the show for a little while. I am not getting in particulars, honestly, because I don't know the particulars. But Moonoff is not employed by SGPN anymore. And so it is now just me, Scott, Lonte, running the 3-man on the NBA Gambling Podcast. Sucks because Moonoff was here in the beginning and, really rock with Moonoff, but it is what it is. Can't really say too much more on it than that. But, man, I still think Moonoff cool, though. That's my guy. So, all right. Now, after all of that awkwardness, I'm about to hit you with this. Hey, make sure you get over there and stop paying for some tout Discord and use that free SGPN Discord over there in the SGPN community, breaking down all the DGen action. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Who said Moonoff got fired on his day off? Oh man, I love when people make things jokes. Those are the best people when they make jokes out of
That's from the first Friday movie.
yeah, because Craig got fired on his day
I wasn't
off.
sure if that was the first one or if that was like one of them.
Dog, that's how the movie starts. The man getting fired. Like,
yeah.
All right, how many games we got today, Scott?
Right now, I think we got 7.
The slate is getting smaller and smaller. That's how you know it's April, man. That is how you know it's April. Oh, and it's so funny because I hope nobody thinks that's no. It's I knew somebody was gonna say that. I knew somebody was gonna say that.
Are
Is
you
this
an
an April Fool's joke?
Are you an April Fool's guy?
No, because I honestly forget every single time until somebody says something. So no, I'm not. But that's what I was.
I'm not either, but I feel like maybe I'm trying to think of like when most people stop doing the April Fool's stuff, or if some people
Kids
still do
love
it.
it. Kids love it.
No,
Oh,
I know that. I'm saying like, what's the cutoff there? Like end of high school, middle
oh
school?
man, was we even doing it in high school? I don't even think I was. Maybe like some point in high school, it stopped. Definitely before college. There was no April
Yeah,
Fools in college at all.
because college you never knew what day of the week it was. So it didn't even
Bro,
matter.
because every day is a joke.
Yeah,
Every
pretty
day is
much.
a fucking joke. So nobody does April Fools in college. So that's where, yeah, after high school is where it's done. In
That's when I
college,
think most people stopped.
yeah, in college every day is a joke, and nobody does it anymore. But hey, there's no fools here. That was
Yeah.
very much real. That was very much real information. If you think he's gonna be here next week, he is not. Oh man. All right, what we doing? New York Knicks welcoming the Philadelphia 76ers into town. Knicks laying 14 and a half. 222 is the total. Injury report. We've got, what's this? Andre Drummond, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre all out. Kyle Lowry is questionable. Why don't they just come out and say these guys are out for the rest of the year, man? Like, why are you playing with us? But all right. Then you got Brunson is out, but it looks like he's coming back soon. Trying to make that. How many games does Brunson need? Can somebody figure out how many games does Brunson need to be eligible for first team NBA, all that stuff? Because that's probably the game that he ends up coming back, whatever that cutoff is. Brunson out, McBride out, Campaign out. DeLon Wright probably still got point guard duties for the New York Knicks.
Well, to answer your question, by the way, the Knicks have 8 games left. Brunson needs to play in 4.
Okay. Yeah, so they'll probably give him a 4-game break, and then they'll do some type of like on off towards the end of the season.
That's 61, and he needs 65.
All right, that he should get there. And they added some like minutes played rule too, where it's like 20 minutes in one, 25 minutes in another, or something
Well, that's why Halliburton midway through like last year kept when he was terrible midseason playing with an injury, was playing like 20 minutes each game.
Yeah,
They couldn't actually sit him, and then he missed all NBA anyway. So it just didn't even matter
because he sucked. Because in that time he sucked,
pretty much. And then he remembered how to play in time for the playoffs. But remember, that was the thing for Halliburton last year.
Yeah. All right. Lay 14 and a half with the Knicks, or actually take the 76ers.
I mean, I've been fading the Sixers pretty much every game for the last week and a half, and I've made money every time. I believe the Sixers have lost, I want to say it's 23 of their last 26.
Oh gosh.
Well, the point is they were intentionally being terrible because, one, all their players or their main players are injury prone, and B, they have to finish, once again, with a top 6 draft pick to keep their pick. So they were trying to blow up the record as quickly as possible.
Uh-huh.
The problem is I was able to fade them a couple days ago with the Raptors -3, and now it's a Knicks -14.5. So it was fun while it lasted. I had a good time for like a couple weeks, but now we've reached the point where the books have realized just how bad the Sixers team actually is.
Whew.
The Knicks should, in my opinion, cover, but the problem is the Knicks at home especially have been known to kind of mess around and let bad teams hang in there for a half or so, and then they'll flip a switch and they'll win the game by like double digits. But the point is, do I think they can realistically cover 14.5 if they mess around for like 24 minutes? That's kind of the problem that I have with this Knicks team. I think the Knicks should cover, but to be honest, I don't know if I actually want to bet this. I think the Knicks without Brunson, I question if they are going to be fully engaged for this game early on. Some Sixers guys are coming back after missing the Raptors game last time out. Doesn't matter, not really. Like, some of the main guys are still not going to play, but I might actually consider the Sixers plus the points. Maybe Sixers first half, pick him to hang in there, then the Knicks blow him out in the second half. That could happen too. But I think that's probably my favorite angle that I'm probably not going to bet, to be honest. But I'll go with the Sixers first half plus the points.
Whatever happens in this game depends on what version of Grimes shows up today. That's what I'm convinced on.
Can you say it's a Grimes revenge game when he was on a team that made a worse trade to get rid of him? I'm just wondering.
Yeah. It all starts with the Knicks, man.
Is he the first pick to be the MSG game draft?
First, yeah.
First overall for this one? Okay.
Yeah. I don't care how big the number is. Because he's been going off. So it's like, all right, you have this confidence because you know for a fact you can walk into the Garden and score 40. You've scored 40 multiple times over a month stretch.
I don't think he got to 50, but he was like mid to high 40s, I think.
Multiple 30-point games. Like the confidence for Grimes right now is an all-time high. And I mean, we'll see what Josh Hart has. At some point, it's going to be Josh Hart and Grimes. I don't know why you wouldn't. At some point, it's going to be Josh Hart, Grimes, and Grimes has been cooking everybody recently. So yeah. I'm sold on this. Whatever happens, just go ahead and attach the correlation of Quentin Grimes to it and take your side. Because if Grimes doesn't do anything, the 76ers are getting routed. But if Grimes goes off, he's probably going off in a big way, and they're more than likely covering at that point.
I'd rather take the Grimes player prop, though, because there is a path where he has a good game, they still get killed, but if he's bad, the Knicks probably blow him out by 20.
Yeah.
So I'd rather go for Grimes stuff, but yeah, I think once again, I considered Sixers first half plus the points, but if you're asking me for the full game, it's probably Knicks or pass. Like, even without Brunson, the Knicks have been okay. Of course, they've been worse without Brunson because he's their best player, but they've been hanging in there. They've been kind of, staying afloat. It's what you need to do when your best player gets hurt. So I do think with Anunoby's recent performances, with Bridges, with Hart, they still have enough to potentially rout the Sixers team that actively does not care about games.
Knicks also looking ahead to Cleveland.
Yeah, that could be the case too.
Just another.
That goes back to Sixers first half again.
Yeah.
Because the Knicks will wake up at some point and go, fine, I guess we'll blow this team out by 15 in the third quarter. But they do tend to get off to some slow
You make a really, really good point on Sixers first half here.
And what's the number though? Like 9.5?
Yes, 9.5. Like, dude, the Knicks, they could be up 10, and then the Knicks wake up and then go and what's this? Knicks by 3, maybe at the half, maybe. Yeah.
Then the third quarter ends and the Knicks are up 15. And you're like, yeah, that looks about right. That could be an angle maybe if you want to go for like Knicks third quarter and you're kind of just banking on them to potentially struggle out of the gates. But third quarter, I think it's too early for them to completely basically coast to the finish line. The third quarter kind of makes some sense because if the Knicks are blowing them out, then maybe they'll let the Sixers hang in there a bit in the fourth, but maybe Knicks third quarter again, but I think the Knicks should cover. The question is with Cleveland on deck, are they actually going to care?
Yeah. All right, you taught me in the Philly first half. The Knicks third quarter thing sounds like a pretty interesting live bet. I'm not going to lie. I would not be surprised if all of this happened and then somehow, some way, the Knicks still ended up covering this game at the end.
It's definitely possible. I mean, the Sixers are an atrocious basketball
they've been
team.
horrible. They've been really bad. I think we just gave out.
Without exaggeration, I think it is 23 of their last 26. Like, they've been useless in a game-in, game-out basis.
All right. Next game up on the before we get to the next game of slate, let's talk about Edge Boost. Premier Visa debit card for sports bettors allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, whatever, and you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. You know your money's safe because it's FDIC insured and it's completely free. No credit checks. Sign up today. EdgeBoost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag, your place to bet every single sport, plus props for every game over there at MyBookie.ag. They accept customers in a ton of different locations, so you have a great chance of being supported by MyBookie. Just go over to MyBookie.ag, easily deposit using cryptocurrency, and get lightning fast payouts. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. That is mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. All right. Next game up, Scott. I feel very strongly about this. I hope you're on the same side.
Okay.
Portland Trailblazers are going on the road to play Atlanta Hawks. Hawks are laying 5.5. 237.5 is total. Injury report for these two teams, and we've got Anthony Simons is questionable with that forearm. He did play the last game though. Grant doubtful. I don't know why they just don't continue to have him out. I'm very curious on what it is that he's doubtful every single day. Like, just say he's out. Trae Young, probable. No Capella, no Ayton, no Scoot Henderson. That's a good point to mention. No Scoot Henderson, no Time Lord. Nobody else on this list matters. All right. Atlanta's been good recently, Scott.
Yep. Well, I'll put it this way: they were great last game against Milwaukee. They were kind of up and down a bit, losing to Houston and losing to Miami, but they have won 4 of their last 6.
And they covered 4 of the last 5.
Mm.
Portland's been on a downswing. Been some disappointing non-covers in there as well for the last 4 games. A few of these games they were really in and had leads and then proceeded to not cover. Very, very disappointing stuff from the Portland Trailblazers.
They gave it a good run. They looked like they could maybe fight for a play-in spot for maybe 2 weeks. Then after that, they immediately fell apart again.
It felt longer than that.
I think it felt longer than that because nobody, as the last seed of the play-in for the West, was actually winning games. And then a couple teams started winning, and you're like, oh no, Portland just isn't going to have it. But
the last 4 L's in a row, but it was a very tough schedule. Boston, Cleveland, Sacramento, New York. So, 3 of those 4 games are really hard. Dude, this is the bounce back. 3 of those 4 games were really, really hard. Then you just kind of throw the Kings in there, who are a 500 ball club, and they just randomly decide to play basketball whenever.
Yeah, they almost beat the Pacers yesterday.
They were up in that game, too. They were up big at one point.
We thought the Kings were potentially live to win the game, and then they blew a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter, but, they covered.
Yeah, I remember looking at that dang, I'm really mad I didn't bet Kings. And then I go back at the end, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why I didn't bet Kings.
Mm.
Either way, they had it tough. They're gonna go into Atlanta. They're gonna smell the air. They're gonna get some lemon pepper Lou wings. The energy is gonna be back with Portland. I mean, Chauncey's gonna have them ready to go. I think they're gonna rout Atlanta today. Atlanta just beat the Bucks too. Atlanta always gets up for beating the Bucks, especially as a dog.
They really always do get up for that Bucks matchup.
Yeah, when they're as a dog on the I'm really mad that I didn't just go ahead and just hammer in Atlanta against the Bucks. We should have been all over that. That should have been a dog. They just randomly get up for that Bucks game. They're so due for a letdown, and now that I remember the Miami game, it sets in more. This is Portland's day. I just think it's Portland's day. Denny Avdia has a day. They can't guard anybody. Anthony Simons, Denny Avdia, Shea and Sharp had 30 the last time he played them. I think it's Portland, man. Portland can hit a different mode defensively where I think they can get a stop at the end of the game. I do not believe in Atlanta's defense at all anymore. They've given up 120 in the last 3 games. And then 119 to the freaking 76ers. Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to go with Atlanta on this one.
Oh, Scott.
I know. The thing is, I've been higher on Portland than most people for the last couple of weeks. I know we both were, and Portland did make us some money as a decent dog a couple weeks ago. I mean, you're mentioning the schedule, but the reality is this team's horrible on the road. They're 12-25. They've been a mess on the road all season. Atlanta's 2 under overall, but they are 2 over at home. I'll look at the last couple of home games. They did end up beating the Sixers by giving up 119, won by 13. Played the Warriors. I believe Steph did not play in that game, I don't think, but they won by 9. Ended up losing the Clippers, beat the Hornets, beat the Sixers, beat the Pacers again. So the Hawks quietly have won 6 of their last 7 home games. They are a lot better in Atlanta than outside of Atlanta, which is, I'd say, the usual theme for this team. But it might just be based on Portland's current form. Scoot, I think, was having a pretty solid, I'd say, back half of the season when it comes to whether he was starting or coming off the bench. I think that he was a solid energy piece for this team. I don't really care about Jeremy Grant, to be honest, but you can make an argument that he can step up on occasion to give you a decent scoring game. Ayton, I honestly forgot about at this point. Simons might not play, we'll see, but Portland defensively really has not been that great either. And you're looking at Portland offensively really struggling recently.
But they played the Celtics, the Cavs, the Knicks.
No, I get all that, but I mean, you score 107 against the Kings on the road, and
I know that's really I know
they've lost.
I know
they've lost 4 straight by double digits, and yes, I know Boston and Cleveland are not exactly the easiest opponents. I get all that, but you lose back-to-back road games to the Kings and to the Knicks by at least like 17 points.
they were in that Knicks game. They just
That's my point though, is that I think Portland can hang in there for a bit, but I don't trust them for a full 48. I'll go with Atlanta at home. I understand Atlanta's a team that doesn't guard anybody. However, they've found ways to consistently, at least recently, win games at home. And Portland just cannot win on the road. They're 12-25 on the road. So I'll take Atlanta at home. Do I think it's going to be easy? No, because it never is with Atlanta. But I think they'll do enough to win the game by like 9.
I think you're wrong here.
Okay.
All right, we're battling. I do like Portland team total over. I do like the over for the game. Think we see a bunch of points. Think we see a track meet.
I like the over too. I just question if Portland can realistically keep up with Atlanta offensively. If you kind of were hoping Scoot would give you 15 to 20 off the bench.
Benton can do that. Benton can do that. He's been good in closing quarters for them. Like Chauncey will use him in the fourth quarter a lot, and he'll give them really good minutes. So like they have moments on the they have moments like in that bench where I think that they'll get the opportunity, and it won't be Scoot, but they'll be fine. At least for Atlanta. Like Atlanta will let anybody, blow past anybody. So
once again, it's not really praising Atlanta for being a good basketball team. It's more just looking at Portland on the road and looking at the recent form going. I think this team, I don't want to say isn't capable of playing 48, but I'm skeptical of them actually playing a good road game for 48 minutes. That's kind of why I'm skeptical.
Yeah, it's a good point, though. They have been horrible on the road. Toronto up on the road to Toronto next for Portland. What's next for Atlanta? On the road to Dallas. That's tomorrow.
I'm also wondering, do you think Portland at some point, I don't want to say packs it in, but you could argue maybe they already have packed it in. Maybe that's why they're struggling. But
oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, there's definitely got to be well, I don't know. Because you got to think, a few guys on this Portland team were on that Portland team that was playing where there was nobody playing.
Yeah.
And they still were playing, but they also sucked.
I guess what I'm asking is, besides the Raptors at the moment, all these teams that are out of it for an actual, play-in spot, I'm wondering if the front offices have, made it known to the coaches, listen, you better not win games at this point. Our season's over, and now we're going to start soft tanking, I guess. Toronto's an exception because they just try to win every game, I guess. So, Toronto has been trying the entire season, no matter how out of it they've been. I wonder if Portland at this point is going to start sitting extra guys, starting to manipulate the lineups, going, listen, we're late to the party, but we can maybe gain a couple spots. And that's something you're probably going to notice in the NBA for the remainder of the season, is that some teams might be extra aggressive when it comes to benching players.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind.
All right. Phoenix Suns on the road going to play the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks are laying 5.5 now. That's gone down a point.
God, I can't
224.
stand these teams, man.
224.5 is the total. This is a rematch of the which finals was this? What year was that? 2021.
Yeah, I believe it was the year after the Lakers won.
Yeah, 2021. Good pull there. All these years just kind of run together.
Fun fact, by the way, do you want to know which movie I saw during the finals clinching game for Milwaukee that year?
What movie you saw during the finals clinching game for Milwaukee? Okay.
My hint, I can give you a hint.
Hold on. All right, I'll take the hint first.
It was not a good sports movie.
It was not a good sports movie. Did it come out that year?
I saw it in theaters, so yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Not a good sports movie. It came out in 2021. What was happening in 2021 when the Bucks won? Wait, what's not a good sports movie that came out recently? Not a good sports movie that came out recently.
I have an obvious hint, but I can't give it because I just told you that it was a sports movie.
Yeah. So, in theaters? All the sports movies I thought it came out on a streaming service.
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It was a sequel - reboot.
Creed?
No.
Oh, great. I was gonna be mad if you thought that was a bad movie.
No.
Wait, sequel / reboot.
Truth is, I only saw Creed 1. To be honest.
Oh. What? Oh, you gotta go see the second one. White Men Can't Jump.
I only saw one.
That wasn't in theaters. What? That made theaters? That didn't make theaters.
I don't think that made theaters. But
yeah, that didn't make theaters.
I'll put it this way: they're on the right track. I mean, I can just say it.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't have it, man.
La Space Jam. That was the movie that I saw in theaters that day. I had a bunch of guys. I'm in this group chat with a friend of mine from his college friends, his fraternity, and we just met up to watch the Space Jam movie with LeBron. And then I came back and Giannis has 40, and then he ends up with 50 in the fourth quarter. So I actually missed a decent amount of that game, but I saw the Space Jam movie. It was not very good.
Why did y'all go to the movies to see that?
It's a great question. I don't know. I think it was just Space Jam? Sure, why not? I mean, once again, there's a bunch of people who I don't think I actually met before, but they were friends with my mutual friend for years, and then we're yeah, we're gonna see Space Jam. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Screw it. So I went to see Space Jam. The movie sucked. There you go. The original's great with Michael Jordan, but that LeBron one was not good at all.
Oh, dude, that is the last movie I would even thought of to say.
Yeah, because it wasn't good.
Why did you go see the Space Jam movie?
Well, the movie was bad, but once again, I feel like bad movies are more tolerable if you go to see them with friends.
They sold y'all the tickets with no kids.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think where exactly I was 2 years removed from graduating at that point, so yeah.
Oh, dude. Dog, how big was this group?
I'd say about 4 or 5 guys, give or take.
Did y'all sit all together, or did you play? Did you do man spacing and put a seat in between everybody? And because it couldn't have been a packed theater, couldn't have been.
I actually think it was somewhat packed because it was opening week. It was the opening week that it came out. I remember, I mean, I'm sure most people have seen the movie. If not, I'm going to spoil one joke because don't see the movie, so you're welcome. The moment Michael B. Jordan walked out, towards the end, half the theater lost their damn mind. They were just laughing hysterically at that one joke. So yes, I remember it actually being pretty packed. It was the week it came out, though, so it was still kind of buzzed. Because people did not know how bad the movie was.
How bad it was going to be.
But when Michael B. Jordan walked out, I know that most of the crowd erupted. So it was definitely a packed theater at that point.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of the only jokes I remember, and it was one of the only funny jokes in the entire, movie. But
and while this is all going on, I am reverse jinxing or jinxing, whatever it is. I was talking a bunch of shit about Giannis, and Giannis proceeded to have 50.
Yeah. I remember I came back in the middle of the third quarter or so. And it's like, yeah, Giannis is 17 of 18 from the foul. I'm like, what the hell is happening? He's 50? Like, what? It's yeah, Giannis just ended the series. So there we go.
Oh, dude. Wow. That's not where I thought this was going.
That's a great joke by Aaron, though. Aaron says your pickup line is you walk up to people and say you could walk into the garden and drop 30.
You guys are characters, man.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You guys are characters. All right. Man, that's enough of a see. Oh, dude, I'm really still laughing that all of you guys went together to go see.
I saw some people asking if we did consume some, I'd say, stuff to make the film more enjoyable.
Yes.
I plead the fifth on that one. No, yeah, we did.
100% had to.
We did, of course.
100% had to.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You think I was going to see the movie sober?
The reason that we brought that up is because the Suns are playing the Bucks today. And
yes.
Bucks are laying 5.
It's a rematch of the final series that people kind of forgot actually happened.
I was supposed to be reading the injury report, and then I remember the moment that I clicked off of the injury report screen, and I said, I'm not getting to this. I'm more interested in this story. All right. Kevin Durant is out with that ankle. Jesus Christ. Like it gets worse for them. Bradley Beal somehow is a game time decision. The Giannis is probable. We've got AJ Green, questionable. And so Lillard, Bobby Portis getting suspended was just one of the random funny moments of the season. Like, how did you do that, dude? All right, so we've got this Bucks team that we know we can't trust. We've set it up here for a good amount of time. We know for a fact we can't trust this team, but we
can't trust either team. Both these teams are terrible.
The Phoenix Suns traded Kevin Durant for potentially Bradley Beal tonight.
Yeah, not really an upgrade, but we'll see what happens. I mean, Durant. To be honest, the sad part is that nobody's surprised he got hurt again. They weren't really doing anything anyway. They're probably going to miss, but you could argue this is the official moment where, at least mentally, Phoenix might just pack it in. Now, Milwaukee's been terrible. We said before they gave up 145 to Atlanta last game, so they are in free fall too, and Lillard's out too. So you basically have Booker against Giannis for this one. I mean, do you have any thoughts? Because I'm not exactly thrilled to bet on either of these teams.
Dog, 148 at home?
It was crazy.
They might have patented it in. Scott.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. 148 at home is like insane.
Do you think, by the way, kind of unrelated, if this goes as badly as we think it's going to go, maybe you have more faith in Milwaukee in the playoffs than I do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Doc rejoins the podcasting circle during the offseason? They're already paying like 3 coaches, but I was
about to say, how many coaches are they playing? How many coaches between these two teams? How many coaches are they paying?
Because you have a built-in excuse with Dame now with the blood clot issue, but this team wasn't headed anywhere anyway. And I am wondering if there is a chance that Doc, if they lose in the first round, is done after the season. I think they'll probably keep him because they are paying that many coaches, but it wouldn't shock me.
Excuse. He kind of has an excuse.
That's what I'm saying. I think this team was screwed anyway, but you can make an argument if he ended up getting let go in the offseason, they bought him out, it would not be the most shocking coaching development. The Taylor Jenkins one was shocking. This would be kind of like, okay, I could see that potentially happening in this one. I think I'll go Phoenix plus the points, but there's a 0% chance I bet this game.
0% chance I bet this game either, but come on, Phoenix just traded Kevin Durant for Brad Beal.
I know, but a part of me is kind of hoping that, I know we see it in the NBA a lot, you get a next man up approach for one game, where some role players are like, oh, Durant's out? Oh, there's 20 shots up for grabs. I'm going to get mine. And then suddenly you see a bunch of role players like 15 points. We see that happen a lot. Coincidentally, with Doc Rivers teams, actually, when Joel Embiid was out all the time. They would just have some random games with Drummond at center and find ways to win. I'll go with Phoenix getting the points because I just don't want to lay with Milwaukee. But once again, this is a matchup where you're stronger than I am if you have actual money on this, because there's no chance I would put money on either team right now.
You make a good point about the get up spot after 148 at home.
It's crazy.
All right. I guess I'll pick Phoenix because I can pick whoever. I'm not betting this, but
I'll go over because I don't trust either team to guard.
oh no,
anyone
yeah, I love
with
the
injuries,
over.
too.
Oh yeah, I love the over. I think we see a bunch of points here, but hell,
Yeah, it's not good.
it's a horrible game. Horrible game. By the way, Phoenix doesn't cover this. Packed it in. Fade trade. Rest of the season. Every
Yeah.
single game. All right. Let's see here. I just have to say again, love the over. Bucks have been going over at home their last 5 games. I think they're 4-1 to the over. Last 4 road games for the Suns, 4-1 to the over. Really, really love the over here. Very,
agree with you
very
on
strong overplay.
Mm.
All right, just had to make sure I stomp the foot on that. People got that. I do like that play. All right, before we get to the rest of the slate, though, got to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Time for Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. We'll be dropping a pick'em lineup at the end of the show. You can play it, or you can play one yourself and win up to 100 times your entry. We'll be dropping a bunch of different stuff that we like. So make sure that if you don't have Underdog Fantasy, you get Underdog Fantasy with promo code NBASGPN. Claim your special pick, first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBASGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, your home for AI picks and props. You can go in there, you can look at college basketball, NBA still going strong, golf, a whole bunch of golf metrics that I locked into the Rhythm golf metrics too, and I'm about to lock in for the Masters coming up soon with a Rhythm. Make sure that you tap in with Rhythm. 7-day free trial over there at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm and sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. Next game up, Orlando Magic are laying 4 on the road against the San Antonio Spurs. 217 is the total. Injury report, and we have here Cole Anthony is a questionable for the Magic, and Bassey is out for the Spurs. Well. Oh wow, was this supposed to be a Scott Foster game? I think this was supposed to be a Scott Foster game.
I mean, that is a big deal because Chris Paul actually does play for the Spurs.
Yeah, no, I think Scott Foster might have originally been on the list for this game and then got pulled because he's not I don't see his name on the card tonight. And I remember when he went down in one of those games, and so he might still be out with whatever he's got going on.
He's
Which would be
gearing up for a
huge.
playoff run.
Which would be huge. Huge development for Chris Paul. I'm pretty sure Scott Foster was supposed to be assigned to this game, and he's no longer assigned. Let me see here. Secondary source. Yep. So he's not on this game. Cool. Doesn't change my mind, but it was good to know. The Scott Foster thing would have made Orlando like the biggest of blocks today.
Okay. So you're going to Orlando anyway.
Yeah, I can't take this Spurs team, man. I think that this is way too short of a number to think that the Spurs are going to be competitive and at the end of the game be covering the number and potentially not win. Like if Orlando still gets the win here, I'm almost positive like they're probably going to cover 2 possessions.
Yeah, the truth is I wanted to go with Orlando too, but it feels like such a trappy line to me. I think I am going to go San Antonio, actually. I think it's just a bad scheduling spot for Orlando. They played at home yesterday, had a very physical game against the Clippers where neither team reached 100 points. Not shocking, but still, they couldn't score. I know San Antonio is not a good team. I get it, but they can get up for the occasional game in San Antonio. You're looking at the Spurs having a couple of offensive weapons at this point that I think can at least put the ball in the basket. And you're looking at Orlando not being good offensively. So maybe I'm just going to bank on the Spurs having the rest advantage. And so far this season with the rest advantage, the Spurs have actually been pretty good. Spurs are 10-5 ATS when having extra rest compared to the opposition. I'll go with Spurs money line in this game. I feel like Orlando, once again, is a team that we are waiting to be a bit more consistent when it comes to, I'd say, getting ready for the playoffs or the play-in their case. They just haven't really looked the part, and they have been looking better recently, but still not great. They had that random loss to Dallas last week, which was pretty underwhelming, but I'll go with San Antonio. 3.5 feels very, very short, like dangerously short. And I feel like they're picking Orlando to be flat after that physical game they had against the Clippers yesterday, where they couldn't score again. The Spurs at home, though, can be dangerous, and I do like them having the day off yesterday by comparison. So I'll go Spurs money line. I'll be a bit different.
Hate when you make a good point.
Thanks. There's a compliment somewhere in there, so I appreciate it.
This line is devastatingly short.
It really is.
Like it's incredibly short. Is that not getting cute? That's not getting cute.
It could be. I just don't want to trust Orlando on a back-to-back with travel when they had that physical game against the Clippers yesterday.
I'm almost 100% certain that Scott Foster was supposed to have this game, and he had whatever. What was going on with Scott Foster?
He got injured.
I feel like he was supposed to be on this game, and he is no longer on the game.
I don't think he's doing any games. Is he?
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just
saying, in ref rehab right now.
That's what I feel like. He's in ref rehab, and because you know how on the lineups, the basketball lineups for RotoWire, they have all the refs listed at the bottom. Yeah. But that game, and I've noticed it for a little while, that there's always been one game that's had 2 refs. And I feel like those games are the games that Scott Foster was supposed to be reffing. And he got hurt, and so now they had to get a replacement. But RotoWire doesn't really know who the replacement is, so they just never have the name up there.
I'm just waiting for the playoffs to come around, and you get the Klay Thompson Warriors announcer, like he's back, and it's just Scott Foster walking out of the tunnel to do the actual playoff game.
Be sick.
I'm kind of waiting for it, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully Foster does. I mean, I don't even know if it's hopefully. I don't think anyone actually likes Scott Foster, but it's definitely an interesting side plot when he does playoff games. But yeah, if he was supposed to do this game and he's not,
oh, dude, it just makes it
have a chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes you really think, like, wow, what if Chris Paul gets a win today? And it's like, ooh, Scott Foster was supposed to have that game.
Yeah.
Scott, you make a really good point here. You make a really, really good point here. Fine.
I mean, I feel like
I would love that plot twist. I would love that plot twist of the Spurs winning today, and I could then go out and say, wow, the game Scott Foster was supposed to ref and is now not reffing anymore. Chris Paul actually won.
I feel like if I was going to take Orlando, I'd maybe consider Spurs team total under. Just ignore the Magic offense. Maybe they no-show it offensively. They can still win the game while barely scoring any points. And they can lose the game by being flat and potentially, once again, losing a lower-scoring game as well. So maybe you want to go for like a team total instead, but I just don't want to lace with the Magic right now on a back-to-back.
There was a point in time where we did roast Jamal Mosley on back-to-backs. It wasn't this season. It was a previous season. But
this year they're actually above 500 ATS on back-to-backs.
But there was another time where we did roast him. It was pretty bad. So I never forget about that time. Every time I think about the Magic on a back-to-back, I do have that in the back of my mind. There was one time Jamal Mosley was really, really bad. And they weren't even competitive in some of those games.
Could be worse. They're not the Pacers.
Golden State Warriors are on the road going to play the Memphis Grizzlies. Oh, this line is all the way up to 5. 236.5 is the total. Memphis is playing on the second leg of back-to-back here. Can't really give you an injury report yet. But we've got Gary Payton out still for the Warriors, and Jonathan Kuminga is questionable.
I know he's not listed right now in the injury report. Are we sure Ja's actually going to play? Because he did play about 31 minutes yesterday. He played 34 minutes yesterday. Are we sure he's actually going to play? No, we're never sure if Ja's going to play.
No, we're not sure at all Ja's going to play. There's probably a good chance.
They might be a play-in team, though. They're falling apart.
Yeah.
You want to make a case for Memphis?
The case is that everybody plays, and I mean, shoot, if everybody plays, they still kind of suck right now, man.
I was gonna
Like,
say they made you take the Celtics yesterday. You
they
hate
did.
taking the Celtics.
Yeah, you're right. Warriors, lay it 5. Oh, dude. You're right. They definitely made me take the side and win.
I mean,
I won.
that's rock bottom for them. It's not
Yeah.
even the recent skid. It's the fact that they made you, of all people, take the Celtics, and
Oh,
you
dude.
won, and you couldn't even be happy about it. Like, you set
Yeah.
yourself up for the Celtics blowing it, and you can
Yep.
make some jokes, but no, they just completely got run out. They scored 103 points at home.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a mess. I'll go with Golden State. I bet it overnight, actually, 4.5. Golden State's been good. I mean, we've seen them bounce back. They had a bit of a slump there last week. Then they played two bad teams, one by 40 against San Antonio. But I do think the Warriors are playing good basketball. The Grizzlies fired their coach, brought in a new coach, and they're 0-2. So that didn't change anything. Your team is still not very good at basketball. So I'll go with Golden State. John might not play maybe, so we'll see if the line goes up. But just based on current form and morale right now, I mean, according to Jaren Jackson, it could be worse. At least they're not homeless. But I do think Golden State, I don't know if you saw that post-game quote. You see that?
Wait, which one?
For Jaren Jackson yesterday?
What do you say? I missed
So
it.
they asked him, they're like, yeah, so now your team's been slumping. How do you feel? And he's like, you win some, you lose some, but it could be worse. We're not homeless. I'm like, that is not the answer you should be giving in that press conference. But all right, sure. So yeah, that was his response. So congrats, they have homes. I guess that's, the silver lining in all this. But I'll go Golden State. They did not play yesterday. They're playing good basketball. And Memphis on a back-to-back. Ja maybe is not going to play. We'll see. But this team on the court's not playing well. There might be some locker room issues because they just scapegoated their coach. There's a lot going on right now. So I'll go with the Warriors -5.5.
Oh, Desmond Bain said something about, the coach didn't take one shot or not. And I'm like, yeah, but you sure took a lot.
Yeah.
you cannot be trusted, Desmond Bain. They definitely should have had your job first.
There were some rumors about Ja not being happy about the offense that they were running, except for the fact that Ja's missed 30 games. So why is he even complaining about the offense they're running? But that's a whole separate can of worms. There's a lot of finger pointing going on right now with Memphis where there's just no accountability at all. And they blamed it on the coach. And they're over with the new guy. So I'll keep fading Memphis. A reminder, they have not beaten a team over 500 since February 2nd. They're 0-11. They're 0-11 against teams above 500 in the last 2 months. So give me Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State again. Pretty easily, too. Wow. All right. Oh, man. There was a time where Memphis could have everybody out. And I still would bet them.
There was a time where it used to be a parade in that city, and now it's not a parade in that
Oh,
city.
it's definitely not a
The
parade.
parade's been rained out.
Dude, the parade is so over.
It's whoop that trick, but they're the ones getting whooped. It's really just not right, It's a shame.
With a belt.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not good.
Toronto Raptors on the road going to play the Chicago Bulls. Bulls are laying 5, 235.5 is total. This feels like a late game for Chicago. Oh, well, it's 8 o'clock. Never mind.
Yeah.
That was optics that made me feel like that was later than what it really was. All right, let's see here. Bulls played yesterday. Kinda. Toronto's going to be without Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, RJ Barrett, Abaji. Yeah.
I'm actually not even sure if Brandon Ingram's ever stepped foot in the arena for a Raptors game. He hasn't played a game. I don't know if he's actually been there courtside for a single game.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point. I don't know if he's ever been there for a game.
And they gave him money. They gave him an extension. And I don't even know if he's been in the arena for any games. So it's not as easy as it should be. Because on paper, you're like, oh, Chicago, they're fighting for play-in seeding. They're playing good basketball. Toronto's got nothing to play for, but they've been playing really well lately against bad teams.
I know.
They just refuse to tank. But they're rotating guys in and out of the lineup. They'll sit quickly for games, and they'll use Barrett, and they'll rotate, and Pirtle's sometimes sitting in this game. They're winning anyway. Toronto's actually pretty good recently.
They literally ran the gauntlet of bad teams in the league.
Yeah, And I'm
San
annoyed because
Antonio, with Washington, Brooklyn, Charlotte, Philadelphia. They literally ran through the gauntlet of bad
yeah,
teams in the league.
and they won like all those games. But I'm annoyed by it because I have a futures win total, and the one play I've left is the Raptors under 29.5, and I need them to go 1-7 for the rest of the season, which is the problem because they're at 28 right now. So I'm on the ropes, but I have been betting Toronto the last couple games and I won. So at least they made it up to me, I guess. I'm going to ask you because Chicago did play kind of, but they got buried by an actual basketball team.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
I'll go Bulls 1-10.
That
Bulls
makes
win,
me feel
Toronto hangs
better.
in there.
That makes me feel better. I think Bulls 1-10 makes me feel better because does Chicago win? I think so. Does Toronto have a lead in the game? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Chicago 1-10. I think this is a close game, and I don't think it's ever a point where the Bulls actually run away with this or anything, but they
For
do
reference,
enough to
by
get
the
a
way,
win.
the Bulls are 3-0 this season against the Raptors.
Yeah, they do enough to get. They do enough to get a win.
I mean, you mentioned the actual Raptors results here. They got buried by the Spurs. They beat the Wizards, beat the Nets, beat the Hornets, beat the Sixers. So
They
they
ran the
beat up
gauntlet
on
of bad teams.
they beat up on 4 of the official tanking teams. And I think Toronto is facing off against a better opponent here. Very, very low bar. But I can't tell if Toronto's actually playing good basketball or if their stats are skewed because they're against teams that are actively punting games.
Yes,
So I'll go with Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago. It's Chicago. It doesn't feel good though. 1-10 was the bit. That's the play. Chicago 1-10 is the play here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's close things out. Minnesota and Denver in Denver. Denver's laying 2.5. 232.5 is the total. We've got an injury report that says Terrence Shannon out for the Timberwolves, and for the Nuggets, we've got Christian Braun, probable. We got Jokic, probable. We've got Aaron Gordon, questionable. Oh, Scott. Aaron Gordon is questionable on the sick report.
Well, you know what that means. By the
Oh,
way,
dude.
there are some updates that came out 3 minutes ago for this game. So you have no DiVincenzo and no Naz Reid. They've been suspended for 1 game.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So that was officially announced about 3 minutes ago. I don't know if you can appeal that. And it's like baseball, where if you get suspended, you can still appeal and maybe play a game. I'm assuming they're just going to sit this game out. But according to the suspensions right now, you have no DiVincenzo and no Naz Reid for tonight, which is a big deal. So I wanted to mention that.
All right. It is. It might be the chance that Denver has, honestly.
Yeah, they can't beat this team.
That's a lot of their offense. Like Dante and Naz Reid, those 2 players, that's a lot of offense that's now going to be gone. But
in the playoffs, they won 5 straight against this team.
Oh, really? I know it was 3 straight this year. So yeah, okay.
They won Game 6 and Game 7 in the playoff series last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes it really hard for me. I think I was really playing. I forgot about the suspensions that were looming. I very much was planning on taking Minnesota and just saying, guys, we've seen this game 3 times already.
Yeah, we have.
Rudy's 25 rebounds. Oh, yeah. And he had what was his point? What did he finish on points in that game, too?
Gobert finished with 19 and 25.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, then again, he played 38 minutes because half the team got ejected.
Yeah.
So they couldn't really pull him in the game. So you can argue that Gobert is in line for another good game here on the boards. He will be getting the Joker assignment with basically no help because initially last year they were trying to put Cat on him and they'd send over Gobert for help. But now you can't even do that with Naz Reid because he's not playing. So You might get Gobert the one-on-one matchup here. I'm just going to put it this way.
So does that mean we're probably going to see Luka Garza minutes?
You probably do. I know who their backup center is besides Garza. I think you have to use Garza. Unless he got suspended too. No, he did not get suspended. So, yeah. Also, shout out to the only guy who got 2 games for the suspension, Isaiah Stewart. Everyone got 1 game. He got 2. So shout out to Isaiah Stewart going above and beyond.
Doing too
But
fucking much.
I'm going to go with the Nuggets. Overnight, I liked Minnesota, but the Naz Reid and DiVincenzo combo there, they've been really good. Especially DiVincenzo has been great. That's a lot of production that you're missing there.
That's why I'm on Denver too.
And unless you end up getting like a solid game from Ant and probably Julius Randle, I don't think they're going to do enough to get the job done here. I'll go Denver -2.5, but I'm not thrilled by it.
No, it'd have to be like McDaniels. Like you have to have good games by Ant and Randall. Then you still got to have like McDaniels come and randomly give you a good game.
Or random Conley like 4 or 5.
Yeah, like it's a lot, and so nah, I'm good, man. Denver laying 2.5. I don't like it, but they don't get swept for the year. They get 1 game.
Yeah, I mean, I saw somebody mentioning Gobert before. As a lot of people know on the show, he is banned from the program, but he is in a good spot for a very solid rebounding game. And with Joker defensively, Gobert probably should finish with like 15 points. I think Gobert should have a solid game tonight, but it's like Bam. Bam had a great game last time out against the Wizards, and I'm looking at it from a distance going, good for Bam. Anyway, like I'm just not even acknowledging like there was a chance I was going to bet his props. The same thing with Gobert. Like if he plays well, good for him, but I can't do it.
I don't remember what game it was, but my homeboy very recently, we had this discussion. It was me, him, and another one of our friends. And we were sitting there, and he was like, yeah, I bet Bam the other day. And we was like, Bam? Like, me and the other dude just met, by the way. Like, that was the first time me and him had met. We were like, Bam? Oh, no, dude.
You have so much to learn about the sports betting. You have so much to learn.
Me and this dude I just ran a bet was like, oh, no, we both agree. Like, no, we cannot bet Bam. And so he hit me up like a week later and was like, oh, I see what you're talking about, Bam. He had 12 points at half, and I had him for 20. He still has 12 in the fourth quarter.
Yep, sounds about right. Yeah. That's the Bam we know.
I was like, yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. All right.
Bam figured it out, though, yesterday. He wore a headband, and suddenly he remembered how to actually be aggressive. So we'll see if that helps moving forward. But I'll go with Denver. I think Minnesota's missing too many pieces.
And it's like I would love to even just jump on the train and hop in on an under on Bam, but that's when he does that dirty too. You just can't bet Bam. Just can't bet him. All right. Lock, dog, underdog. Scott.
All right. So for the lock on the show, damn, there are a lot of games that I think are disgusting on the card. Like,
he said Bam got 11 rebounds last night for the first time in 8 games.
Yeah, it sounds right, because I know
that's crazy.
Well, Ware was having a monster rebounding run, and then Bam kind of woke up and played well. So
that's crazy.
You know what? I might actually go for it. I mean, I like the Warriors anyway, but I did give that out on YouTube, so I'm not going to try to recycle the same plays. I feel like I'm robbing the public of a play.
Yep.
Give me Denver, a -2.5 at home. I know that they've lost a lot of games in a row to Minnesota. If you're going to get up for a game against this team, the time's now, because damn, this team's shorthanded. I think it's a big deal. I think Denver, at the end of the day, of course, still can get good offense with Joker, with Murray, etc. But you mentioned Aaron Gordon might not play. We'll see what the story is for him. Murray's questionable as well, but he's questionable every game at this point, so we'll see if he ends up suiting up or not. But I do think at the end of the day, Murray's going to play. According to Coach Malone, he did have a practice on Monday, and that is a good sign for the Tuesday game. So I think he's going to end up suiting up here. Give me Denver at home to get some, I'll use revenge in quotes, because once again, it is a shorthanded Minnesota team. But at some point, you got to beat this team, because they might be the team you play in the first round of the playoffs. Like, you might have to actually beat this team in a series. So give me Denver -2.5 in this spot. For the dog on this one, damn, there are so many teams that I just really want nothing to do with. There's so many teams that I just don't care about.
It's actually a really bad slate.
It's a horrible slate. Even the games that look decent on paper, like Memphis is falling apart and Minnesota's got a couple players suspended. So it's really just a mess. I think Atlanta's going to win, so maybe I'll go for like a player performance double, but I know trade double-double is like -400, which is just a waste of my time. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to go with here. I really do think Atlanta's going to win that game, but Let me just see if I could find any performance double that kind of catches my eye quickly. If you want to, you can go and just come back to me.
All right. For my lock, Golden State -5.
Okay. I like that too, but I just didn't want to give up the same play twice.
No, it's okay. I understand the thought because I also have given out a couple of plays, the over in the Phoenix game and the Blazers team total. So kind of X'd out a couple of stuff for me. Golden State -5.
Okay.
I hate the place that Memphis is at right now. I really do. I hope they turn it around. Just not tonight. For the dog, I think I've actually come up with my own little performance double that I am going to play for today. No, I lied because that is not enough. So I'm not going to do that. I was going to do Josh Giddey double and a win, but that only came out to +130.
Okay.
Wow, I kind of want to back Josh Giddey somehow.
You want to go for like alt rebound, like alt PRA?
Let's go with what are the I think I'm gonna go like an alt PRA or an alt RA because man, Giddey was flirting with that. He was flirting with that triple double yesterday, and if they were actually competitive in the game, he would have got it. But I don't want to pay plus 475.
Yeah, I get that complaint.
Like I feel like I want more. Yeah, let's go with the alt PRA. We'll do alt PRA. And I'll play what I played yesterday because I played him for 40 yesterday and he almost got there. He was 7 off and he didn't play the fourth quarter. Let's go with it. Let's run it back again. Plus 175.
All right. So for my dog, you know what? I think I am going to throw in Golden State at least in some capacity. I'll go with Golden State money line, and I will put that with the. What do I want to go with? You know what? I'll go with the over in the Milwaukee game. So give me the Warriors money line with the over 224.5 in the Bucks game, plus 181.
All right. Plus 181. Love it. Cool. So, Underdog.
We can just run back Giddey regular RA if you want to.
Yeah.
You'll get no argument from me about Giddey. Giddey's just been phenomenal.
Dog. In a game that he was playing horribly, by the way.
Yeah.
He had 33 PRA in 3 quarters.
Yeah, the team was down 30 in the second quarter, so like they were just getting destroyed.
Yeah, like he's really, really good right now, man. All right. What's the best way to play this? It's because it's 16.5 RA is 0.94. We could just go PR. He had 33 and like I said, 33 and 3 quarters yesterday. It's at 35.5.
We can do that. That's fine.
Or we could just go like assists or rebounds. Those are spicy. Just those let's just do one of those. Assists, rebounds. What's better today? Rebounds or assists for Giddey?
All right. Yeah, let's do rebounds. Switch it up.
All right. 8.5 rebounds higher. Because I'm very much, I think 9-10. Like very, very much flirt with a triple double here. So I'm perfectly fine taking the higher on just one and getting the spicy. All right. We like points in a bunch of games, actually.
Well, I saw somebody mentioning that Cat's questionable for this game, so maybe they're going to sit him for the Cleveland game. So I'll pivot towards Josh Hart rebounds.
All right. Let's go Josh Hart rebounds. Higher. 10.5. And that's a little spicy too. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, that's especially if Cat misses, that is definitely hitting.
Yeah.
And it could potentially hit even if he plays. So yeah, I like it. All right. I mean, we can go Grimes and we can go Grimes, or we can just go for some points. Again, there's probably a lot of points scored in this Suns and Bucks game.
A part of me really wants to consider Jaren Jackson lower on his rebounds because he had 16 last night, and that just can never happen again. You know, like just the ultimate. I mean, yeah, he's had 11 though, and in 2 straight against Golden State, or 11 RA. I mean, the last 2, but I mean that's just something that kind of caught my eye there.
The lower is 0.89 on 6.5 rebounds.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, no, we can't do that. But I get the point. I definitely understand the point. Because
Yeah.
what?
He
What?
had 16 rebounds. Okay, yeah, sure. All right.
All right,
Cool.
bro. All right.
Or like he had 15 rebounds and 1 assist. You get my point. He had himself
Yeah.
an actual game yesterday. I'm looking if there's anything else I'm really tempted by.
Yeah, no. I want to go Grimes.
All right, that's fine.
I'm sold on Grimes having a
Yeah.
day. It's 20.5. Come on. He can get to 21. He
Yeah.
can do that in garbage time. All right. Josh Giddey, higher. 8.5 rebounds. Josh Hart. Wow. Didn't realize that. Josh Hart, higher. 10.5 rebounds. Quentin Grimes, higher. 20.5 points. 7.39x. Oof. We got some bang for our buck. $100 gets you $739 over there at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else from people before we get up out of here?
No. Once again, looking forward to cashing some bets tonight. The games themselves might not be great, but the games are a lot better when you win. So hopefully, it turns into a great slate because we sweep the board.
Yep. All right. He's at Rush Show Radio. I'm at really raw __. Make sure you give us a follow at SGPN NBA on X. And hey, like the video on the way out. I know they were talking about it earlier. 60 plus people in here. We need 60 plus likes on the video. And make sure you give us a 5-star rating review wherever you get your podcasts. And with that, nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcasts. Just going to end like this. Scott, I've been betting a lot of women's college basketball recently. Really, really excited for the W to come back. We're out of here.